Hello. Hello. What the hell is this? Okay, we're going to factor this a little bit. Okay, so hold on. I actually... do this down here. So when I initialized this, I didn't know about this function. What did we put in a flathead? Set text. Okay. So set text here could just be clear text. This is going to be text.count is 0, insert point is 0. Okay, and then set text is just going to be clear text on input followed by append text input text. Okay, and then let's just, okay, and then this is going to be insert text. Oh, dang it. Okay. Okay, top o' the morning. Top o' the morning. Insert text. I don't know who wrote this code. It's a little more complicated than it needs to be. It's also not. Yeah, okay. 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 Okay, whatever. Whatever. Okay. I mean, what? Let's not bother with this. So, like, there's no... Like, whoever wrote this didn't want to call memcopy for some reason. Okay, let me make sure that everything still compiles and works, because I did change some things. Okay. So, that's great. Cut. Paste. It's all good. Okay. So, here... Oh, right. Okay, that's why. You do have to go top down, because otherwise you'll wipe out your own text. Okay. Okay. But this can certainly be a memcopy right here. This is just memcopy That is just that. Yeah. Okay. Okay. There we go. So we're going to go here, going to insert. Okay. There's a few things that we're not doing right now. So right now, when I click on a text input, my cursor doesn't go to the place that I clicked on. Like all we do is activate it. So that's not good. We want it to feel better. And then, so related, when I click and drag, I'm not dragging, right? Because it doesn't go into drag mode. So like, and then there's going to be, maybe we don't want to clear the selection if you click to a different, maybe we do. I don't know. I don't know. That's a different thing that we could figure out. But this is a more important item of feel. The fact that like I can't click on a place and be there. Right. Does the text input do multi-line? No, this is a single line text input right now. Okay, though. So we improved that slightly. We have factored this apart so that I don't like how much autocomplete stuff there is in here. Seems like it's too much. Anyway, we still need to do that as well. Okay, so when I click right now, see, this is a little weird. Is we decide to activate the thing from the draw function. I think we shouldn't do that. I think we should try doing that in the here. There's just a massive car accident somewhere nearby. That was just very loud. And now there's a very loud revving engine of someone driving away from the scene of the crime. That's San Francisco now. Someone just crashed into someone else's car. And, yeah. do I think about Spore? I did not ever play Spore. Okay, so here, I think this is where we do the thing. So first, let's just do the following. Let's just go. We're just going to do that. And assuming that that works fine, which it does not, probably, because we ignore. We ignore we don't even call this if it's not active. Okay. So we're actually going to change that policy. By doing the following thing. So we're going to call always. So check for activating event. Is going to be we bail out if it's not a keyboard press event. So mouse button left is currently the only thing that will activate this thing. And then we say status. Wait. Did I not? Did I delete the thing that said get status flags there? We'll find out. It'll probably complain there because I don't think. All right. So status is get status flags from the rect. Okay. And dot pressed input dot active is true. So actually we'll do this. We get here when we are not active, but need to check for a click to see whether we should become active. Okay, and then this here Actually, no. We'll leave that for now. Okay. It's not event.pressed. It's key pressed. What? Why are we doing that? Why are you casting to bool? Okay, yep, I knew about status. I knew I deleted that. So there we go. Okay, so I still can't activate the thing. Oh, because we don't call it from the client code. We have now changed the policy. Still doesn't work. Oh my God. We say handle event. We say did I get this right? Okay. Well, let's see. Text inputs, check for activating event. Do we even get there? Yes. Go. Keyboard, key pressed, mouse button left. Status flags. Okay. Right. Okay. So checking for pressed is not right because okay. Pressed happens at a different time during the UI phase. And we moved out of that. That is my theory. There we go. Okay. However, for some reason, I'm not able to switch. What is going on? I broke it. I broke it. I can't switch. We also have to fix that. There's something wrong in the text scrolling. Okay, so for some reason, Let's try this. Is there any case where clicking shouldn't remove text highlight? I mean, I don't know, like if you click outside of the text area because you want, I don't know how text inputs usually behave in that way. So I'm not sure. Okay. Anyway, what is going on with so we have this thing where they set each other to not, oh boy. Yeah, okay. So this was based on the idea that the active changes happen in draw, and that's not where it happens anymore. So we got to move this up here. Because that's where it happens. All right, there. Oh yeah, okay. So now I just have to change the feel now of the cursor drag stuff, but that should be easy because it's happening at the right time. Whoops, whoopsie. Okay, cursor drag. So normally we say deselect and cursor tracking mouse. We'll just call this start selecting. Right? I guess I should call activate and deactivate for future proofing. Let's do this. Okay, this we actually do something to make us look more lively. So we have activate, deactivate, start selecting. And so we can call start selecting here. And let's go back to the example. Okay. So, bam. Hey, the cursor goes right where I want it to. It also clears the selection now as a side effect. Maybe that's fine. Will you look at that? It's almost like a real text input. Clicking outside it doesn't really deselect right now. I'm not sure. Not sure if we want to do that. We certainly could. How's it going this morning, everybody? We already made our text input good. This might be everything that we need to do on it right now. Last night, I did. Oh no, it's not everything. Okay. So you see, okay, this is supposed to be center justified, and it's like not really. And the reason is because I was selecting and scrolling around, like the long text handling needs a little bit of work. That's what we need to do. Harvey Dent did not correctly handle the long text deal. I just made a better text editor than what you're forced to use daily. What are you forced to use daily? Finished your last exam of final year of university. Now you have to go into the non-pretend world. Actually, what am I saying? The world is getting more and more pretend every day. Do you want a secondary text color that applies when the text is selected? That could be a thing that we do. So right now, I'm not really worried about making things look maximally nice, as you can see from the color choices, right? So right now, the goal is just to make everything work and make everything themable. And I guess that could fall under making things themable. But I do have bigger problems right now, I guess, right? The bigger problems are like the text, you can get it to screw up sometimes. And then like what WTF with this, that doesn't really, anyway. Let me just validate my thesis. I want to see what is happening in this case of the center. I think that's the other code being whack. A meta program that parses HTML code and transforms it into this UI. No, go away. People simply don't understand how bad HTML is. That's the only reason why they like it so much. Which current design do I consider nice? They're all bad. They're all bad. They are all made by recent college graduates who have no grounding in traditional aesthetics. No offense to recent college graduates or soon to be college graduates, but like, I don't know. There's a way it ties into the way in which, like, again, all these big quote tech unquote companies are being run by people who don't know anything about what came before, and it shows. It just really shows. And that doesn't even require one to not be a recent college graduate, because you could have like learned that stuff in college and they just didn't. So I don't know. Okay. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so flood control dam number 3 here is correctly centered. But I think what's going on is after I make it big, right? And then I make it small again. Yeah, like now it's just not, right? It's just hosed. So the code that does this needs some rethinking. Needs some rethinking. Okay. So let's go look at that code. It's basically doing this like last X. Where is it? Oh, I'm in the wrong file. Last X, last text X. This thing. I did play with this after the stream last night. I worked for a little more because I got a third, fourth, fifth wind. So I changed this a little bit from what you've seen on stream, but now we just sort of do this thing, and then we do some stuff down here. Now, okay, there's a little bit of a thing. It would be very easy, and maybe I should do this to start again, but it would be very easy, like in the steady state, to say, hey, here's our text. If we're active and our insert point is off, then just scroll to the point where the insert point is just on, just at the edge, right? We can do that, but that's not very good, right? Because Like you want to be able to see some text on both sides of the insert point, right? So you want some context around what you're typing, right? But if you're not active and the insert point is toward the end, you don't really how do I say? You don't really want to like scroll the text over because you want to see the whole text. Like if it's left justified, right? Let's sort of do it over. We're gonna okay. Let's do a following thing. So if we're active, right? Else, we're just gonna set this. We're gonna reset this. So at least now, when we go out of the widget and come back, right? So if I copy and paste this a bunch, okay, that's center justified. It's just too long, right? So then I'll cut some stuff out, right? I'll delete. Okay, see, this is already a little weird. I don't know why we're at the right. That's that code being strange. So this should be totally centered at this point, and it isn't. But then I go back here. So now it at least recenters. So that's an improvement, right? And then here's a left justified, right? This is weird. Like, look, it should go back. It should go back, but it isn't. Now, the difference is we have this state struct now that we didn't have before. Although before we were just sort of storing state on the thing, but we could just say, here's where we're at. Offset wise, here's where we want to be. Like we want the insert point to be within a comfortable range, right? And so then we could just like dynamically animate that over time. And that would not really, that would just use the regular state struct. And so all mechanisms for cleaning up that state struct and so forth would work on it, which sounds right to me. Okay, but at least, you know, like WTF is that? I went to the right and like it scrolled it right, even though it's supposed to be left justified, and it'll pop back to the left as soon as I'm out. See? So that's weird. It needs some fixing. If you ain't got Mojo Nixon, then your store could use some fixing. You think your entire life you didn't see a single text input with its text not left aligned? We actually want right aligned sometimes for things that we do. The right alignment that we're doing is not for right to left languages. That would be a different thing. This is purely if you want to type right justified text in a left to right language. Okay. We asked for Mojo Nixon. They said he don't work here. Okay, so This is good. Text input is getting better. It is getting better. So much better. Okay. So, if we are active, okay, we need our state struct. This is what we're going to do. And first, we're going to, yeah, there's our state struct right there. Actually, we can delete this. That makes us happy. Do we use this B? I don't even think we use that, right? Nope. Goodbye, B. Okay, so we want this, and now so we're gonna, instead of computing okay. I'm going to kind of mothball all this code, and we'll copy out from it as desired, because this is just confusing me. What we want to do right now is just snap we're going to say desired right, and then if we're active, we're going to change that. Okay, we're going to say so this margin, let's think about this as we paste it. This margin is, doesn't make sense. Okay. So let's ignore that. We want this insert X. So insert X here is what is the X coordinate of the insert point where the cursor is? All right. Now, it occurs to me that we actually want a different margin if we're at the end, because if we're at the end of the string, we don't need to see anything to the right. Let's not worry about that yet. Find X coordinate of the insert point. Then what do we want to do? We could say, we could have some margin like in M's. Of how much range that you want. Like how much, this would be on the theme. It's like, how much do you want to see to the side of the insert point while you are typing, right? And then, so once we have that margin, we want to say, is the insert point outside of that, right? So let's just say margin is m of theme dot I don't know. This is a terrible name. Let's just say text insert margin. Put this in themes, right? So on the text input themes, we're going to say text insert margin is 3.0. How much you want to be, actually more than that. 6. Eight, I don't know. Okay, so margin is going to be this. And we are going to say if we're going to clamp margin to like 90% of the width. Because if you do weird stuff where you take the margin to be way too big. Okay, well, this is strange, actually. Because we're about to say, if it's outside the left, so we're going to say, hey, if the insert point is past the left-hand side plus the margin, right? Then we want to bump it right. And if it's past the right-hand side plus the margin, we want to bump it left. But if those two regions overlap, then like the order in which you do those operations determines where you're going to end up, and it doesn't make sense, right? So like actually, if this value is clamped, the resulting pixel value is clamped at 50% of the, let's say 49% of the width of the rect at render time. Okay. Otherwise, it would be ill-defined where you want it to go, where you want the insert point to be, unless we had two different margins. Okay, so here we go. We're going to clamp that at like half the text width, right? So we're just trying to think through this real good now. So we're going to say if insert x is less than x0 plus margin, right? Or is greater than x1 minus margin, right? In this case, we're going to say, well, so eventually, what we could say right now is just say set desired text x, but we want to compute like an offset value. Maybe it doesn't matter. But the point is we're going to whatever we compute here, initially we're just going to snap to it, but then we're going to interpolate it over time, right? So here we say we're gonna say an offset, and we're gonna say offset equals how much do we want it to go to the right? We want it to go to the right by x0 plus margin minus insert x, right? And how much do we want it? Well, and here, how much do we want it to go to the right? Well, that's negative, right? We want it to go x1 minus margin minus insert x. Which will give us a negative number because we want to bump it to the left, right? Then left, right. Then we're going to say, for now, we're just going to say, here, let's even ignore this. We're going to say text x plus equals offset. So in theory, if what I typed is correct, now our insert point should always be healthily inside the box, but then when we exit, it'll like be gone, right? Be gone, be gone. All right, so here we go. Okay, it's not freaking out yet, so that's good. Let's do, okay, that's pretty reasonable. See that? I mean, it's a little bit weird, but this is a center justified control. So like we're saying it wants to be in the center, which is, to be fair, I have never seen that really in my life, but we're trying to be consistent about, so we have this justification enum that says, do you want things left, center, or right? And we're just trying to be consistent about supporting that everywhere, which is why this is in there. We should also test right justification. So I'm going to paste this a bunch. So now, okay, so now here's the thing is, because we're at the end, we kind of don't really need this much margin, right? So like, maybe that's, but I guess, yeah, that's something to think about in a second, because yeah. Okay, so there we go. Okay, this is weird. Okay, this is where it gets weird. Okay, so when we're left justified, we actually don't want this margin at all. When we're left justified, we don't want to go positive offset, right? And when we're right justified, let's make a third one. Whoops. Did I just, what happened? I need a good, okay. Let's do this. I need a third location. We're gonna make another text input. You know what? Here we go. We're gonna do something. we're gonna I should just make a function for this. Actually, no, it's going to be, I just don't want to do it. So I could just make a global array of text inputs, right? And just iterate over it, which is what you would do. For now, we're just going to do this because what we really want to probably do is do some like, you know, global management situation. I don't know. Right now we're not worrying about that, right? We're just doing the individual widgets. So here we go. We're going to do this. We're going to do a write justified. Okay. So there we go. Yeah, so when we're typing on the right, it's a little weird. But like, so again, here, because there's nothing, when there's nothing to the left, we like don't, it's weird. When there's nothing to the left, we don't really need context, but maybe we should have it. I don't know. But when we're on the right, whoops. See, when we're on the right here, we don't need this much margin. And when we're on the left here, we don't need that margin. So, but when we're in the center, it's, and we're on the end, we don't need either. Like this is actually, okay, this is not what we want either, right? Like why did we get pushed toward the right here? Center justification is weird. Okay, let's focus on left and right and decide. So when I'm left, okay, one thing at a time. When I am left justified, okay, there's another bad thing happening, which is we're scrolling like I'm selecting as it scrolls under the mouse cursor. So we don't want that. So we're going to have to fix that too. Okay, but one thing at a time. This is how we solve problems, one thing at a time. When I'm on the left, I don't really want to go to the right. If I'm at the very first character, that's obvious, right? If I'm here, I start to want margin, right? So what I really want is if we're left justified. Okay, hold on. I'm in the wrong file. Okay, if we are left justified, if theme.alignment is left, we clamp it at insert X, right? Okay. So now, here we go, we're left justified. That totally didn't do what I thought. What? Okay, hold on. We clamp the offset. Oh, not insert, width up to insert. Sorry, I used the wrong thing. La 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 la. Okay. I don't always type the right thing into my code editor. Okay. All right, so. Whoa. What is okay, let's not worry about. Okay, it's still. Right, okay. So it's doing the right thing for 0. For one character, okay. For one character, it's like 2 characters for some reason. So like I'm somehow double counting implicitly. What if, okay, hold on. Hold on. Let's do it this way. This might be easier to think about. All right. So we're going to say left margin, and we're going to modify left margin here. Like it shouldn't be more than the width of the text prior to the thing, right? So there we go. There we go. That's great. And we have right margin, which honestly I guess what we're saying is there shouldn't be a left margin. Right? I mean, that I'm making this too complicated. What I'm just saying is lobsters are the same as people. I'm saying that even though this works, we really want this. So we don't need an else here because these are disjoint. Okay, and then we're going to say, and we're not left justified. Right? Something like that. Isn't that like, look, if we're here, yeah, we don't really ever want a left margin, but we do want a right margin if there's text. So the thing that I did actually, we don't want this much margin here because that's preventing us from seeing stuff on the left, right? So what we want in this case is left margin, right margin. I might reconsolidate these, but we can control these margins differently. Okay, so here we clamp right margin between zero and the width of the text, which is text width, like that. Right? Because you don't need more right margin than there is text remaining after the insert, right? So if we're here, we copy this, we paste it, here I go, and there we go. Okay, well, there's a little teeny, okay. We need to be able to see the right-hand side a little bit. We want like 1 em worth of at the edge, right? So we're going to do this. This is m of I don't know what to call it. Margin when, oh, we don't want that to be 8. 1.1. Margin when there is no text past your insert point, but you are at the edge of the window. You don't need to see more text, but we do want some space for comfort purposes, right? So we got that minimal margin, and we clamp the right margin to be at least a minimal margin. Okay. Maybe that's a thing. I don't know. Okay, that, I feel like that totally didn't work. WTF. Oh, because I did the wrong, okay. I did the wrong thing. The thing I did only makes sense when the text is less. So here, well, it still doesn't work. Okay. Okay. What? Hold on. Oh, yeah, okay. This could like, text width is the total width of the entire text, right? So this is how much is right of the insert point. That doesn't seem too bad to me. let's just see what happens. Let's debuggerify. Debuggerify. So like, what is it doing? I am sure it is a very dumb, like sometimes you're doing things that are total rocket science and sometimes you're just doing very dumb things, right? And this is the latter. Okay, so here we go. If we're left aligned, what's minimal margin? 12 pixels, sounds right. What's right margin? 0. What? Oh, because we just clamped it. Right. So hold on. What was it originally? 88 pixels. So that means this has got to be 0 or something. Oh, it is 0, right. So text width minus width up to insert is 0 because we're at the end of the text. So we need we need to make sure that this right hand thing. Okay. We're going to not use clamp. Okay, so we're just going to say, instead of, sometimes it's nice having functions like clamp, but sometimes they're just confusing. So we're just going to say, if right margin, actually, we could do this. We could clamp right margin from 0 to this, right? Let's just type it out. Let's say that's width after insert. So if right margin is greater than width after insert, right margin equals width after insert. And then if right margin is less than minimal margin, right margin equals minimal margin. We could also, instead of that, we could say clamp right margin, minimal margin, max width after insert minimal margin. I think I like that better because we're about to copy pasta a different version of this for the right justification, right? No, not max. Yeah, max. Okay. Not capital max. Okay, so hey, look at this. Oh, look at that. It's like we have 1 M of space there. We probably, since the cursor size, we need to be able to theme the cursor thickness and all that, right? Okay. So it's a little jittery right now. But like, I think we're going to add smooth scrolling anyway on top of this. But like there, you kind of get two snaps. So you've got the cursor, you've got the first one, and then it snaps a little bit less because we went past the minimal margin, right? And then we just go, and then that's the inner thing. I don't know. So does anyone... So it looks to me like this is going to work fine now. And then we just do this for right justify symmetrically, and then we'll figure out center, like what that means. Does anyone like have a strong disagreement with the way this is being handled and like thinks there's something way better? I do think this minimal margin... let's do this. We'll make the minimal margin a little bit bigger, and we'll say, we'll theme the cursor. Okay. Cursor X CW. The CW. Oh, we actually, it's just not on the theme. Cursor width outside text. That's just, I don't know, 09, something like that. Kind of think justification should be ignored during editing, so editing is consistent everywhere. Why? Why? Don't you kind of want the same padding after the text as before it? What? So you mean you'd always be typing into the middle in every text input? Or do you mean something else? When scrolling left, how come you freeze the cursor at a specific 1/3? That's just the margin. We have some margin where we say, this is how much you want to be able to see. If you click further left, let me see. So you are saying, like when I'm doing this, hold on. You're saying that if we're way out here, right, and I'm going left, well, this is... Yeah, I don't know how I feel about this little bit of behavior right here. Like in a very long input. Okay, so we're preferring... I mean, you definitely can go there. We have this selection problem, but... Yeah, we have like a selection feedback. Like, so what's happening right here is I'm clicking here and it's like over several frames, it's like feedback dragging me to the left. So we have to solve that problem. Like we want it to drag you when you move, but not when it moves under you, right? You have a little space at the start of the text if you aren't scrolled so it doesn't touch the edge of the control. Wouldn't you want that on the right as well? Oh. I guess that's a good point. So you mean when I'm here, but like the text goes past, right? But I guess the question is, like the text is going to keep drawing if F is not the last character. Oh, but I guess, right. Okay, no. Yeah, I see what you're saying. So that, what value is that? That is I don't think that's in the theme either. Yeah, it could be that the minimal margin is not really necessary. The thing is, what if you, like, it should at least be the size of the cursor though. So maybe we make that work, and then we say it's the max of the cursor width and that thing. But then even the I don't know. Let's just see. Let me just, okay, I'm going to make these work first. Because I don't want to get a trail of half-done things, and I started typing this. So this yeah. So where's end of text cursor width? Aha. So this whole X width thing, okay, okay, hold on. Let's not lose track of what we want to do here. So I want make M actually use the M width, because we're not doing that. Then we could do that in the font code. That would be pretty great. Okay, so make that actually use the M width. Then make cursor the correct width inside and outside text. Then, actually we're going to do these in this order. Then we're going to say, get rid of minimal margin, right? But theme the margin padding on the left of the widget. Ensure this also comes into play with right justification. Okay, so just so we don't lose things. And then this, we're in the middle of this, so we can delete that one. Okay, so here we go. This X width and whatever is not happening. It's called we're going to do that, and then wait, it is 0.5 now. So that comment's gone. This is inside text, and all that's gone. So there we go. That is much better. That's inside the text. That's outside the text. Okay, good, good, good. Let's default it to 1M, actually. Let's make them both a little wider. So it's 2.5 and 1.0. Okay, great. So now, bam. See, we're using the character height times 0.5, which is bull crap. It is bull crap. I'm going to say that when you get a font, we're going to tell you the M width. All right. Because that's a standard thing that you want for layout. I claim. So you have character height, default line spacing, max ascender. These really should be S32s, honestly, but M width. Okay, get character width in pixels. Is this actually a metric that we can get on the font? Oh, we literally do this. Okay, capital M, M width equals Is it like that? I don't remember what all these numbers mean. Let's just see if that works. Oh. Nope, it's 0. Okay. What? It's amazing computers calculate all this garbage at the rate they do. Oh, yes. But, yeah. I mean, that's the funny thing is, like, I am very happy that I managed to write much faster code than most people. But, like, I do all kinds. Like, I was just thinking about 10 or 20 minutes ago, like, I'm just using the floating point unit willy-nilly. I don't care. I could use integers. I'm not, right? But this code is still 1 trillion times faster than everyone else's code. So, like, that's how bad things are, really. Why M? M is like a standard typesetting concept, right? And we might be able to get this metric from the font somehow, but I don't know if you can trust these. Does anyone know what we want for the actual character width? Is it face.glyph.metrics.width? Let's try that. Let's not look at the documentation at all. Okay, that's way too... Wait, what? Huh? How is it the same for both? What happened? I mean, maybe... So first of all, that does not look the same size. But second of all, what happened? Should be 4 times as big. Am I nanning? What's going on? Am I nanning? Am I a citizen of the nanny state right now? Is that what's going on? All right, let's just see. Face. There's this one diagram from FreeType that just it's not good enough. Okay, here, this fucking thing. All right. I'm saying width. So font glyph metrics width. All right. Let's just say we're just going to printf m width whatever, character height whatever. I just want to make sure those are. We can't be nanning. It's an integer. Yeah, that's the first thing we set. Whoops, not printf. Dang it. All right. So m width 20, character height 45, m width 10, character height 22. I mean, I guess I believe that's 20 pixels. I don't actually know. So why is our cursor the same size? How did that break? Oh, because my m function, I changed the m function and I didn't multiply, guys. That's what happened. I hope somebody saw that when I did it. Times x, guys. If you want to succeed in the games industry, multiply by x. All right, there we go. Look, it's little, it's big, m. See, the thing is, this is wrong though. Like, look how big the m is. And look at the size of my cursor. Am I multiplying the cursor down smaller later because it was too big before in a hack? Or, yeah, the pink is definitely flickering. That is true. Okay, so we need to figure this out. Because, like, that's maybe what an M should be, right? Something like that, and it's this. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. You can't trust glyph metrics. That's like 27, 28 at least. Is this 20? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I don't know. How do we. Is this selection? Like, fuck, how do I just select? No, how do I select? I want to drag a rectangle, fucking program. Holy shit. How did they possibly make this so unintuitive to use? I will never understand. Okay, I had little I don't know. I give up. Clear current selection first. How? Left side over the bucket. This thing. Ah, okay. Never mind that that looks exactly the same. Okay. UI designers. All right. So 15 pixels wide. Okay, so that's it's telling us an M is 20 pixels, I think. Hard to say which font this is, but I think this is the smaller font. This is clearly not 20 pixels either. Let's just see. Let's step into it now. So we're going to run. Going to go here. We're going to go where was our CW? Oh, there's this whole X width thing that we don't need. We need to remember to delete that. Hold on. Because that's in the font now. Okay, so is the CW stuff down here? All right. CW, there it is. So cursor width outside text should be 1. Except we're what? Oh, it's a pointer. It's a pointer and we're in Visual Studio. So 1. Okay. We go down here. Ah, we have a Control M in the file, guys. Computers. Wait, hold on. Wait, what file? Yeah. No, what? What is going on? It's just a line off. We don't have a Control M. Maybe there's another character that's screwing it up. Usually, oh, there's a no. Usually when this happens, it's a Control M. But we're like on the wrong line. I don't know why. This is a mystery. I hope it doesn't mean we have a stale build. All right, X is 1. Font M width is 10. Okay, so this is the smaller font. And this was 15 pixels, though, which is weird. I mean, it's anti-aliased, right? 13. I don't know why we're drawing that so big, then, is the question. But you can't trust this font metric, right? So like, unless my computation is wrong. Wait, why am I multiplying it by 0.5? This is me being, sometimes I just don't even think about what I'm doing. Yeah, like I'm cutting it in half because I just copy pasta. Yeah, use your brain, guys. Use your brain. It's not that bad to use your brain. We're just going to do this. See, sometimes I get a great deal of work done, and then sometimes because I'm not thinking about what I'm doing, there's a nail in the tire now. Yeah, okay. So that, I believe, is correct. That's a huge ass cursor, but like that's the M width of the font. That makes sense to me. Typo in, no check-in. Okay, well, we will go delete that now that it works. It's like the fact that my brain goes on autopilot like that, sometimes, a lot of the times, it just means I can do things super fast, right? It's like when you're driving your car and you're not really thinking about where you're going because you go there all the time. And then you accidentally crash into like, I don't know, something that you didn't want to crash into. Okay. So we have M width now. Yeah, that no check-in was very misspelled. That's fine. We're gonna modules simp font now, or dynamic font, I guess. Now provides the metric M width, which can be used to do kind of reasonable. Okay, so now we're going to go back here. We're going to say this X width stuff. We don't need that. Although I think the reason I was doing X width originally was because M width was pretty variable. I don't know. But we could change it to X width in the font if we want. All right, so now that we've got a reasonable M width, we want to go and cut these down. Alt F4 does not close the window for some reason. Oh, X height. Ooh, we're using it. Let's do that. Oh boy, that totally didn't fucking work. But that's also not correct. Oh, that's the height above the base. What? Hold on. Like, this M should be on the baseline, right? Like WTF. This could be a case where I had just like hacked it before. Let's see what I was doing. So we had this X height. We're just setting it to font.character height. Okay, whatever. You know what? I forget I said anything here. Forget I said anything. Okay, great, great, great. So I think we could check in for safety's sake and then proceed back to this margin issue. Right? I think so. Okay, let's do this. So we did that. So now we're back to margin padding on the left of the widget and so forth. M width is the width of the M dash. Yeah. I guess I should do that instead of the letter M, right? So the thing is okay, here's the complication. M dash is supposed to be the width of the M. That's why it's called the M dash, right? But like not every font will have an M dash glyph in it. So I was using the actual M. Maybe it would be better to check if the M dash exists and use the M dash. Otherwise, use the M. You know what I mean? That might be better. You recommend this very short write-up of typical text box behaviors. Let's see. Yes. No, this is for later. We're not working on any of this right now. Yeah, we could check this later to make sure we do everything. I guarantee we're not doing absolutely everything on that list, but we're probably doing most of it so far. Actually, we know we're not doing everything on that list because we came up with a couple last night. We're not double and triple clicking yet, and we're not. What are we not doing? There was like word select if you like control shift arrow or something. We're not doing that yet. Yeah. Anyway, so we can think about the actual M width later, fine tune it. For now, I think this is going to be good enough. So let's go back to this question of the margin padding on the left of the widget. Okay, so what were we? Where is that coming from right now? Right. I think that's another hard coded that we want to theme. Right? So we have this XPad. It's like the iPad, but made by Microsoft. Oh, alignment pad. All right. We did theme that. That's this thing. Okay. So we have that. That's good. So maybe that's minimal margin, right? Maybe we don't need minimal margin. Right? Whoops. I'm doing the wrong thing. No. That one. Okay, so I'm typing. I'm typing. I'm helping. I'm helping. Okay. We go out. We go back. We go out. We go back. We go out. We go back. I mean, this seems reasonable. Right? Are we missing anything here? Because we still have other bad stuff to deal with, right? Now the question is, so right now we're putting the margin, we're saying after this F, that margin is how much space. We could say it's after the cursor. You know what I mean? But I kind of feel like maybe not. I feel like maybe it's fine. But that is a thing that we could do. Maybe the text scrolling should be looked at as a camera. That is what we're doing! Sort of, supposedly. It doesn't actually work here, right? But that is exactly what we're doing. Supposedly. Like, why does everyone say that's so? It can't possibly be that loud, guys. Dynamic range is not that much. Of course, I never have gone back and listened to. I never have gone back and listened to what that sounds like. That was extremely loud. Okay, sorry. Sorry. All right. So yeah, so this behavior, it is true about the dead zone comment that it is not actually correctly dead zoning right now, right? Like, well, okay, this is. So the question is, how do we do that? I thought that this thing that we were doing would do that, but it doesn't really. Okay, so let's think about what we want to happen. So as the cursor goes back, okay, wait, we're not actually getting that minimal margin here, or whatever we call it now, right? The alignment margin. We're getting it here, but we're not like, okay, so that's wrong. Why? What is going on? So let me just step through it so I don't get too confused. I want to see where we end up. Okay, actually, let's get it set up. We're going to, whoops. Okay, so we've got, like, what is going on here? It's probably exactly what we told the computer to do, right? What is going on with the line numbers? Okay, these numbers just aren't correct anyway, because we descoped and stuff. What am I even looking at? What? Why are all these numbers so whack? What? The? Hold on. Is this even? How is Babby formed? I bet that I had edited things since then. Let's see. Okay, so okay, these numbers are making more sense. Width after insert is 26. Okay. Minimum margin is 20. Right margin is 160. So we should be clamping to between 20 and 26, so we should end up with 26. Oh. We're saying 26. Yeah. Okay. Okay, what do I actually want? Sometimes people don't know what they want, right? So what we're saying here is what we're saying here is if we're left aligned, okay, we have some number of characters after the cursor. Let's say, for example, that's 0, then we want minimal margin on the right. And we actually get that. But if it's more than 0, we're like eating into that margin with I mean, I think I'm trying to do a computation that's too simple and hoping that that does the dead zoning behavior. I mean, do we need to? So, okay, here's the deal. I was No, never mind. Like we should be able to instantaneously compute what is the correct place that we want the cursor No, that's not really true, huh? Okay. We should be able to compute the thing with the proper right margin before worrying about dead zoning. That much is true. If we want the actual dead zone behavior, we probably do need to maintain a dead zone over time. Okay. So this is one of these things where we've done 17 things since I wrote this code. So even though it's very simple, I forgot what we're looking at. We are saying if we're left justified, if we're left justified, we're cutting down the right margin. And I don't remember why this made sense. I remember why it made sense. Like, okay, so first of all, sort of what we're doing is we're just playing with left justified till we get it right, and then we'll transpose that to the other things. But this, like, right now, this doesn't make sense to my brain, even though I just typed it. So, what am I looking at? Okay, right. So what we're saying is, look, if we're left justified, we don't need the full margin on the right all the time. Yeah. Because, like, if we're at the end of the text and there's nothing to our right, yeah, that was the point. And we used to have a comment like that, but it got slightly wrong. But I will retype something. So if we are at the end of the text and there's nothing to our right, we don't need further context in that direction. Okay, so the thing is, let's say I'm one character in, right? Like here. What do we actually want? We actually want that area, what do we call it? The alignment pad. and the size of the D, so to speak, because same sort of comment as a few lines below. Let's see. Yeah, but it's about a different thing. Actually, no, it's about, this comment is actually saying a different thing than this comment. Okay, so what do I want to happen here? We want to say we're toward the right end of the text. This is where I guess I'm having trouble formulating the statement of what should happen. It's like, look, we're toward the right end of the text. What does that mean? I don't know. But like, we're toward the right end of the text, so we want to see all the rest of the text plus the little margin, right? Maybe I'm thinking about this backwards. Maybe I'm thinking about this totally backwards. Maybe we just do... What if we just go straight to the dead zone version right now? And just do that instead? Because I feel like that might be better. Because the reason is you can formulate it differently. I was trying to do the instantaneous version and then put the dead zone around it. But it's like, if we just say, here's the calculation that puts like if we maintain a camera position, which starts at 0, right, for the text input, probably. Or we -1 it and we initialize it. Yeah, it really is flickering a lot, huh? We're going to have to look into that. Let me put that on the list so we don't... What is the flickering? It's an M. Night Shyamalan movie. Okay, so if we just go to the straight to the dead zone version, what does that look like? It says we have a camera position right now. So it starts at 0, or actually it starts at minus something, because we could say 0 is the very left edge of the text, right? And we say we just move the camera over so that the cursor is in the zone, right? Except, all right, so here's the weird part, is except we actually don't care. We want to go outside the dead zone in this case, right? That's why dead zone isn't quite even the right concept. Which is also true in game cameras, though, right? It's like, oh, we hit the edge of the map, so we're just going to stop the camera. So that actually makes it easy to say, actually, right? Because we say the camera position is somewhere we compute what the cursor is going to be relative to that camera position. If that's outside the dead zone. See, this is sort of the same math that we're doing, right? It's just a little. If it's outside the dead zone, then we move the camera, right? But we clamp the camera. Is there a reason why that won't work? I mean, it's basically sort of the same as what we have. It's just rearranging things. And if that makes it easier to think about, which it probably does, honestly. Yeah, the two edge cases are just camera clamping. That's what I'm hoping, is that thinking about it as camera clamping makes it probably easier to think about, and makes it also more obvious how to make that work with the different justifications as well, right? We'll see. Let's try it. And then we have to deal with this. Oh, did I put that on the list? Selection feedback when clicking on the input. All right. So you don't trust Harvey Dent. Well, maybe that's the correct decision. I don't know. I don't know. Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? All right. So what do we do here then? Let's put the camera position on the state of the thing. We're just going to go do the full bagger here. We're going to go to the text input state. We're going to say, now we're going to snap the camera. We aren't going to interpolate it yet, but later we can interpolate it, right? So we're going to say camera initted is false and camera position is 0, right? Okay. Camera X. All right. So when we get here, we're going to say if the camera is not initted, then, okay, then we init it and okay, so what? See, this is annoying. This is where things get, it's like minus text x minus x0, right? And then we're going to say text x equals right, state dot camera x minus x0, right? Wait, no. Dude, okay. So this is minus text x plus x0, right? So text x is x0, sorry, x0 minus, right? So if the camera is positive, the text goes to the left. And if the camera is negative, the text goes to the right, which is fine. I'm actually not thrilled about that. Like, conceptualizing it as a camera does introduce this like retro direction motion thing, but we're going to go with it. We're going to go with it. So x0 minus state.camera x. So if camera x is minus, right, the text goes to the right, which makes sense. Okay. It's not clear to me, like, should we initialize this all the time? I don't know. I don't know. Okay. So now, if we're active, we do some stuff. And at the end of the stuff, we're going to clamp the camera, right? We're going to say clamp camera X minus what's it called? The minimal margin, I guess we'll keep it. We should really, let's call that alignment margin since, do that. Alignment pad. So alignment pad, we either go to the left, right, which will leave that much padding on the left of the text, or we'll go the entire text width plus alignment pad, right? And then we will say text X equals, what did I just say? X0 minus camera X, right? Wait, that's can't be. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay, so we're going to do some stuff, and at the end we're going to clamp the camera, and then that's fine, right? And what I could do as the first attempt to make sure this works is just say always put the cursor in the middle. Right? We're just going to get rid of all this stuff that we did. And we're going to say we're always putting the cursor in the middle. Right? So how do we do that? We say we're like ignoring text insert margin right now too. We're going to have to bring all this functionality back. So we're going to say so we have width up to insert, right? So and then we have insert X, right, which is text X. Okay, this is a little I mean, since we don't want to do the interpolation yet, the dead zoning yet, let's just re-init the camera every frame for now. Okay, so we started on the left. We're going to shift it to the place where we want it to be. And then clamp that. Okay, so I mean the current position of the thing. So do I want relative to the camera or just... See, the problem is the way that I would think about this. The way I would think about this incrementally is different from the way this is what's so confusing, right? So if we're just thinking about smooth scrolling over time, right? Then you would just say, okay, let's figure out the camera position where we would go to put the cursor in the middle, right? Which is pretty straightforward. And then move toward that direction, right? Now, I guess instead of move toward that direction, we just say teleport to that position. So it'll always be in the middle unless the camera is clamped, which I guess makes sense. Okay, so we have width up to insert. So we want to figure out the desired camera position is something involving width up to insert, right? We want to put, okay, here's what we want to say. We want to say, if text x is x0 minus camera x, right? Then we want to say, okay, the middle of the region is x0 plus x1 times a half, right? That's the middle of the region. And we want to say that is equal to or actually, do we have a width, or is it doesn't really matter, but let's just say we have x0 and x1. We probably have the width too, but whatever. x0 plus x1 times 0.5 is the mean of x0 and x1, which is the middle of the region. So that is equal to something about the camera, right? So x0 minus camera x plus width up to insert, all right? So we're not using insert x yet, right? So, right, because right, x0 minus camera x is where we're going to start drawing the text. Hopefully. So assuming that this is true, then we just solve for camera x, right? So we say camera x equals x0 minus this, which will simplify out, right? And then plus, right? So equals x0 minus x0 plus x1 times 0.5, right? And then we could just say something like that. Now this is x0 minus x0 times a half. This is x1 minus x0 times 0.5, right? Which is half the difference, right? Which is the width times a half. Anyway, let's like even see, this is probably a disaster, right? So Okay. Well, okay, so far we're not freaking out. That's a good sign. Okay, we're in the middle. This is not a good sign because I thought we were supposed to clamp it. We were supposed to Jed clamp it, but we're in the middle, we're in the middle, we're in the middle, we're in the middle, and we go to the left. Okay, that's actually better than I had any right to expect. Okay, so now, why are we not clamping the camera position here? What's going on there? Text width plus alignment pad. This is not really camera X because it's relative to X0, but whatever. What's going on there? Let's see. Let's see. So we're staying in the middle for some reason. Why? Why, Black Dynamite? Okay. Desired camera X is going to be pretty big. 612. Okay. Text width 900. Oh, right. Okay. Right. Like, obviously, I forgot to subtract the, so camera X is the position for the left side of the window. All right. So we need to subtract the size of the window because we want to clamp the right-hand side of the frickin' camera. Congratulations. Okay. So now it's not behaving as we would want necessarily. So it's clamping on the right. It's clamping on the left. So this is pretty good. So now all we would have to do is add the dead zone on top of this, right? Because we don't really want to be in the middle all the time, probably. Although, man, I mean, maybe that's the only sensible behavior. I don't know. No, we probably should. I don't know. Anyway, so the thing is, when this was shorter, it was being weird, right? This is supposed to be left justified. So now again, the problem is that our right-hand side is less than our left-hand side on our clamp, right? So if this is where the left, right, center, justify comes into play, I think. So we're going to say left limit, right limit is this thing. Okay. And then we clamp this for left limit and right limit. But if we are left justified, for example, and we'll add more justification code here. If we are left justified, whoops, then we prioritize the left limit. All right. Whoops. Hold on. I don't want to paste a bunch of code with space in there because, whoops, I just ran the Sokoban game. I don't want to paste a bunch of code with space in there because it's harder to see what's going on. So here we go. And we're going, and we're going, going. Okay. This was easier to think about, I think, for sure. And it's behaving pretty reasonably, right? Like this is pretty okay. The thing is, the right justification is not really going to do the same thing right now, I don't think, right? Oh, maybe it is. Wait, what? Okay, yeah. So this is not... So I think what we do is the same thing here. We say, if it's right justified, I mean, maybe this is the thing. I don't actually know. Stop running the wrong thing. Okay, so, oh, that's center justified. We're not even dealing with yet. So here we go. We're right justified. We're right justified. We're in the middle. We're in the left. We're in the middle. We're in the right. We're going to delete, paste, backspace. Okay, right, and same here. Delete, backspace, blah 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 blah. It's kind of weird behavior to be here and delete and have the text come in, but it's right, I guess. Okay, so now the dead zoning would just be an increase of quality, right? So that we're not in the middle all the time, I guess. So what would... Like, it would basically just mean if I go back and forth in the middle here, we don't really... Or actually, what dead zoning would do is if I'm in the middle here, and then I start typing, it would be like the text would actually go to the right as normal, so this would be less weird. Why don't I just copy web? Dude, if you think about web browsers as the center of the universe, then that's just not how I think about things. You do realize that text inputs existed for decades before web browsers. Do you know that? Like, do you also realize that most of the programs on a consumer operating system that have text inputs today in the year 2021 are not web browsers? So why would I copy web browser behavior as opposed to anything else? For left justified with a long string, go to the end of the string and then delete. Does the beginning of the string come too far into the box from the left side? Oh, I see. So you want me to delete it down to nothing? No. No. So that part is working fine. The thing that's weird is if I delete here, we probably do want it to say you're within the dead zone and go left, because that's the visual behavior that people are. We want it to do that earlier. And then if we hit around here, we want it to pull in from the other side. Like the thing is, if you take that attitude of just copy the web browser, then you end up with the computers that we have today, because you apply that to everything and you never can make anything better. Like just copy the thing that exists is not ever the way to improve, right? Now, there is such a thing as, let me look at this thing with a critical eye and copy the parts that I like and so forth, right? But I'm kind of doing that because like I've used text inputs for my entire life on computers, right? And I kind of know how they behave. And there are details that we're going to want to go and make sure that we do, because they're not particular things that I use in text inputs. But generally, like, look, I mean, how much life experience do you need at something before you're an expert in that thing? You know? Should it pull in to the left as soon as all the text is visible? That is what it, I mean, that's what it does. It's just, it's all text plus the little bit of margin that we said that we want, which I don't think I want to change that. Like that's a customization parameter that we put on the frickin' text box. It might be a little wide by default. I think we could turn that down. Okay, minimal margin we got rid of here. Alignment pad. How much space is on the left before the text begins? Just going to say 0.6 ems. Right, okay. So that's pretty good. All right. Okay, so what the next thing to work on is when I'm deleting from here, so we want to compute the desired camera position, right, relative to the last camera position. And say, or do we think about it the other way around? Do we just say, we don't care about the desired camera position because the current position is inside the dead zone? I guess that's what we do. Right? So, I mean, we can optimize it so that we don't actually compute desired camera X like later on. We're not even using this text insert margin right now. I forget what that was even for because we've done so many things. Okay, we'll look at that later. Okay, so let's actually fix this. Wait. x1, this is x0 minus x1 times 0.5, right? Yeah. Right. Let's make sure I didn't break that. Okay. Great. Just thought you could copy existing behavior instead of searching for the right way to do it. There is so much saying that the web browser defines existing behavior makes me angry. So don't even go there. Do not even go there. Do not pretend like web browsers are the highest quality input widget that exists. Like, holy cow. If you're claiming that, I don't even know what to say. Just this is not the channel for web browser simping. All right, if you want to do that, go somewhere else. Go to the web browser hot tub channel. There are many, I agree, like, yes, we want to do something that's reasonably in line with what people expect from text inputs. However, we want to leave some room for ourselves to make improvements. And we also don't want to be defined by implementations that are worse than others just because they're web browsers. Okay. It's almost time for me to go to lunch, honestly. Web browsers are amazing. I mean, that's not exactly the adjective I would use. Okay. reinventing the wheel, again, I'm not going to do the full rant, but when people say don't reinvent the wheel, those people are not engineers. Full stop. Full fucking stop, because they don't understand wheels. All right? Think about it. Think about it. Like, how often do actual real engineers in the actual world reinvent and improve the wheel every day? Don't fucking say don't reinvent the wheel. That's the most absurd. Like, I've been hearing that phrase since college, and I think whenever that was introduced was like when programming skills started to decline. Like, you don't want to drive your Formula One race car with train wheels on it. That's just not going to work, right? Or cart wheels from Rome. It's just not going to work. You have to reinvent the wheel. And that's the wheel. Like, the wheel is so much simpler than any software thing. Okay. Not to get too personal attacking the one chat person who said reinvent the wheel, but it's just like, that's the worst phrase. It is the worst phrase. And so if you've heard people say that and it made sense to you and you agreed with it to some degree, I would invite that's an area where you could do some useful investigation and reflection about whether what that person was saying to you that caused you to pick up that meme, whether it was really true or whether, I don't know, whether it was one of the many things that people say that are not actually true, but they don't stop to think about them enough to figure it out. Okay. You can see it as a convoluted way to say that you should learn from previous attempts. No, that's not what it's saying. Don't invent the wheel means you should not attempt to learn from previous attempts. You should accept the previous attempts and not try to go beyond them. Learning from previous attempts means you're going to reinvent the wheel and make it better by using the knowledge from previous wheels, okay? So that is not what people mean. All right. Comments on multiplayer and my projects. Will I ever write some multiplayer game? My first professional game was a multiplayer game. Okay, so we could say Dead Zone. What do we want to say? How... So we're going to say if we're inside the dead zone, don't change the camera. And what does inside the dead zone mean? That means, okay, so what's that? Dead zone x0 is something, dead zone x1 is something. X0 is x0 plus alignment pad, and this is x1 minus alignment pad. Well, let's see what happens there. Maybe it'll be a disaster. Let's just test this. Okay, nothing terrible so far. Okay, going. Well, we went, okay, that was weird. That was not what we wanted. So here it's like, we went outside the dead zone. Oh, we're using the wrong dead zone, by the way. Let's fix that. We're using the alignment pad and not the other thing. So we went outside the dead zone. So we like panned all the way back to the middle, but we don't want that. We want to go to the closest dead zone, right? So that's what makes it confusing now. So okay, let's do this. This is not alignment pad. This is text insert margin. It's that margin up there. Plus margin minus. Okay, let's just check that. Make sure that's bigger. One little baby step at a time. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So it's like we go here and then we get, okay. We should turn that down because when we tuned it before, it was before we changed the M size. So let's make it about 2/3 of what it is right now. But anyway, so if we cross that invisible line, it snaps us back to the middle when it should snap us, I guess, to the dead zone, right? Okay, so text insert margin, 2/3 times 8 is about 5, right? 5.3. It's still a little much, but only barely. 4.9. Okay, so 4.7. Now, if insert X, so we can flip this. We can say if it's less than dead zone X0, move the camera left. So then we don't actually need all this stuff down here, except, or we don't need this part. Okay, hold on. We're going to say if it's less than dead zone x0, we do a thing. We do a thing, right? And this is, let's just say dx, right? If it's less than dead zone x0, dx equals dead zone x0 minus insert x, right? Otherwise, dx equals insert x minus dead zone x1, right? And then we're going to say that. So we move the camera. Later, that can be a smooth move, x-lax. But for now, it's that. Okay, and no misfires so far. Do. Whoa. Okay, the left side didn't do the right thing. Whoa, that's not right. But it's pretty okay apart from that, I guess. Except no, because, well, hold on. This is like the same behavior we had before. I'm not sure why that is. We actually wanted this to behave differently than the other thing, but it's behaving exactly the same, except it's breaking on the left-hand side. Maybe that's a clue. Why is Emacs taking so long to change the color of commented text? Because it is very slow. Emacs is very slow. Okay, why is this happening? Oh, because DX is the camera. Ugh. I think. Maybe I got that wrong on the left. And maybe I've got a double negative, a double O negative. Okay. Yeah, okay, that's definitely not working on the right now. Well, now, okay, now it's a complete disaster. Okay, hold on. Okay, so first of all, this was wrong. Okay? Because we want this to be negative. And then that's, yeah, I think that's the thing. I think that's the thing. Okay, it's still, okay, it's not screwing up at the left. That's great. It's still kind of doing this thing, which is the behavior that I told it. This is weird. There's still something reversed about the concept here. Why is that? Because like if you think about like, hey, the cursor is just a little platformer character walking back and forth, he should just be walking to the left right now, and the text should stay still. And that's not what's happening, right? So why is that? So the clamping is working. So this is weird. When I hit left, why isn't it not doing any motion? Like when I hit left, so right now he's inside the dead zone. I tap left, he should go more toward the left, which should keep him inside the dead zone. Okay. Let's step it. So one of these must be happening in that case because it's moving, right? So, okay, so here, I'm just going to tap left again in a minute. And so right now, neither of these should be firing. Oh, wait, what? That could explain some things. Oh, because we're resetting the camera every frame. I forgot that part. You obviously can't have a continuous dead zone over time if we reset every frame. Let's reset it only if we're not active. Okay, hold on. There we go. That's what we wanted. That's what we were trying to do this whole time. And there was much rejoicing. Okay. Great. Besties. Super besties. So now if we're over here and I hit delete. Oh, that was backspace. Sorry, delete. I'm not sure how I feel about that still. Like, I guess we want to... Okay, hold on. If we're in the middle and I hit delete, that's fine. Backspace is fine. It's just once we hit the end, it's like pulling in. No, I guess that's better. Because you want to see all the text. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. The additional padding looks better than browser. You mean like here? Or do you mean in the dead zone? Like the padding on the left and right, that's just, I mean, any text input should have that. Right? Okay. This is pretty good. I think it should work. I think we did the equivalent thing for right justify. So, bam. And then the only one I don't really know about is the center justify. Right? I wonder if like delete and backspace should go the opposite direction because it feels weird, but that's right justification for you. No, it shouldn't. It should delete the same character of the text, obviously. Okay. So now center, dude, I don't even know what this is going to do, right? maybe it works. Let's just see. So we got dead zone. We've got dead zone. We're in the middle. I mean, this is fine, right? And then when I delete, it's like, okay, so this is the weird part is it doesn't really prefer to center justify itself at this point, right? So what do we do about that? So if it's center justified, then we take the mean of the two, right? I mean, it's just, if they pass each other, then right? Like if the boundaries pass, then the camera limit is in the middle. The question is that going to make a discontinuity, or does that just work? Let's find out. Let's find out. Whoa. Okay. Well, that was not what we wanted. Okay. It just disappears. Oh, these are camera limits. So we get rid of the. Yeah. Oh, it still does it. All right. No. Okay, this is weird. I don't know why it went to the right. Okay, this is totally not. Sometimes the intuitive answer is not the right answer. Okay. It's getting to be break time for me soon. Because I haven't really eaten today. We've got like 3 hours in. Browsers go to the end of the field and then scroll. Yeah, I don't like that because I want to see some context around what I'm doing. Do I recommend Dragon Book for compilers? No. No. Stay far away from Dragon Book. Putting a fake scroll bar. That's something we could consider at some point. For now, I kind of want to... So the thing is, with this widget library, like the text input, like I said, is probably the most complicated thing. But there's still a bunch more widgets that we need to get ported over. And so I'd rather get all of those at a baseline and then ship that beta so that people could use them if they want. And then, you know, from there, we could see what happens about improving these. Okay, so Better learning by experimenting blindly. No, there are just other references you should look at. Like the Dragon book is pretty much the absolute worst, as far as I know. There are a number of other compiler books. None of them are great, but like a lot of them are way better. And there's websites you could look at and all this stuff. And it's not even just that Dragon Book has lots that you don't need, which I agree that's true. But it's like Dragon Book makes you think that parsing is really hard and is the majority of the effort writing a compiler, when in fact parsing is pretty easy. And it's a small minority of the effort involved making a compiler. So it gives you just a really distorted view of compilers. Suggestions on other core math concepts besides linear algebra. Geometric algebra. Do geometric algebra and you'll be happy. Okay, let's try to figure out the center alignment before the break. So actually, I think what we want to do we could try the obvious. This is, you want to see something really stupid? This is the intuitive solution based on looking at the previous lines of code, right? So if we're just having fun and trying things, flight control dam number 3. Okay, so it's working for, we got to fix that flicker. Intuitive programming for the win. Oh yeah, look at that. Sometimes I just don't really think about things and I just do stuff. Dragon Book should be the book recommendation for writing parsers. Sort of, except it's not that. Because if you want to write a parser, you don't really want to do most of the stuff that they do. It does. So if you want to understand a certain kind of formal language, computery way of analyzing the concept of parsing, then that book is very informative. But you don't want to program almost anything that it says to program. But understanding this way of thinking about grammars and stuff is a thing that you could do, and that would be fine. Okay. That's going to be break time for me. Let's see where we're at here. We did this margin padding. This is all good. Okay. We have these problems. We have the selection feedback. That's more important to me than the flickering, but I want to get both eventually. And then maybe we'll be done with text inputs for now, which means later today, we might actually get to do more widgets, which would be fun. Yeah, this part is not, if I just click over here, that happens due to feedback, right? And if I just click over here, that happens. That's not good. So I don't know what to do about that. Okay. Do we just teleport the mouse? Or do we let, so right now we move the cursor, so the cursor is like locked onto the mouse pointer, right? Do we just like add that differential between the cursor and the mouse pointer and they diverge? Like what's a thing with a small frickin' text widget? Like what if I go to Notepad and I go open file, right? And I type a bunch of Lord Dimwit flatheads here. Okay, so first of all, there's a limit to how many, I guess that's file name max, right? Okay, so if I start selecting, see the selection cursor in the text is on my hardware cursor, right? Okay, it's got the same fucking problem, actually. It just happens at a lower frame rate. See that? Actually, wait, no, it doesn't. No, it doesn't have the same problem because that's related but different. So the problem that I'm having is actually if I click on the right. Okay, so the deal is they don't ever pan when you click, which is why they don't have the problem. So like if I click over here, I get no context, so it doesn't move the cursor. But then when it does, it spams. Okay, so this is garbage. I don't know. I don't know what to do about this. We could just move the mouse pointer, right? We could just teleport it if we're dragging. The thing is, it's a little bit scary to do that. Now that's another question though. So we got this dead zone concept to work, but is it really what we want? Because of the following thing. And maybe it's fine with a smooth camera, but like if I click here to start typing, right? Ignore the selection, which is going to make things really visually confusing. But if I click here to start typing, like right before the F, that point moves, right? Maybe that's not good. Maybe we don't want that point to move. And like what's going on there? We're not taking something into account here again. That's pretty weird. Oh no, it's fine. That was just, okay. So that was, we were typing outside the zone and then now we're in, yeah. All right, that wasn't a bug. It is 100% not good. The panning needs to happen in small increments. Yeah, well, so that's what I'm saying is like, we're going to do a smooth interpolation on the position, right? So maybe that's enough to make the problem better. But maybe it's not, right? Like maybe we don't actually want this dead zone thing to happen at all. Maybe we don't. Maybe we want to do what Notepad was doing and just don't ever change the camera. Or maybe it only changes once you start typing and then it changes slowly. I don't know. We'll see. If you clicked in the end zone, you just go there. Well, I mean, then we need to think about what this dead zoning we just did is ever for, right? I mean, I guess it's for this, right? So like this works really good, right? I like that. So then if you click outside the dead zone, what do? Do we say you're allowed to be outside the dead zone until you go back in? Or like if you type A, B, C, D, E, I mean, that's going to put you in eventually, I guess. Don't pan on click. But if you don't pan on click, then do we pan on when you type the first character? Right? Zone needs to be enforced when approaching from the middle, but not enforced at all when you are already outside. Maybe. So there's still some nuance to that then, to making that work correctly. Let's put this on the list, right? So the problem is if you just let people go outside and stay outside, then we're never going to pan and you could scroll off the left. So it would be more like the dead zone has to become the full size of the visual area, right? But then if you go outside that, maybe, okay, here we go. Maybe it's if you click outside the dead zone, right? The new dead zone width is like, how far from the edge are you? Right? So then if you move left from wherever you clicked, it'll maintain that, right? It'll maintain that amount. And then if you go in, we can bump it back up gradually until it, right. So we could have like, here's how big we want the dead zone to be, right? Or I guess it's the live zone if you're outside. Here's how big we want the live zone to be. And if you click outside that, we temporarily shrink it, but we'll take whatever opportunity we can to raise it back to where we would like. Yeah, you could also like slowly interpolate it. I feel like if someone clicks on the thing and they just sit there and do nothing, we don't want to slowly pan. Maybe we could, I don't know. Usual way is not to scroll the text until the cursor is within the limits of the text input. And then slowly increase the scroll speed as the cursor moves past the border. Yeah. But that's still a little bit of a different thing, right? We can think about that after we fix this selection feedback when clicking on the input thing. Click should not move things. The graphics editor tabs. I don't remember the graphics editor tabs, but I agree. I think by default clicks should not move things. I think if someone wanted to be super fancy and wanted to customize this so that clicks move things, maybe they're free to do that. But I think by default clicks do not move things. I think that's correct. Okay. Anyway, this is good. This is the best this text input has ever been, which doesn't mean we will not continue to make it better. Okay, this is no longer. We're gonna have to comment. Waiting for a moment of inactivity. No, like the thing about that kind of design is it breaks your concentration and focus. Like if I click on a text input and then I'm thinking, I don't want the computer to be impatient with my thinking. Computer is here to work for me. I clicked on the tabs and the new tab content resized so the whole tab bar moved from under the mouse. I don't even remember what program that was. But anyway, yeah, like, okay, I like this idea about resizing the dead zone based on where you click. So that is complicated even more by the fact that, like, the problem is, like, look, this is ImGUI stuff, right? So the frickin', they could draw this with a different font at a different size the next frame. And like, what happens if you do that? Anyway, but we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out. Okay. So it's going to be break time for me. Thanks everyone for coming by. We will stream again later today, probably. And we will continue this stuff. Yeah, basically, we need to be able to click outside. So, and then that'll solve the worst part of selection feedback because we won't scroll on the click, right? Then we can deal with behavior of what happens when you drag past the edge, right? Which might just automatically work at that point. I think this will automatically, because if we do the same dead zone shrink, then it'll only scroll by the amount by which you drag your mouse past the edge. We'll see. We'll see what the behavior is. I feel pretty good about it. All right. Thanks everybody for coming by. We will stream again later on. See you later.